Undocumented immigrants commit crimes at a lower rate than the citizen population of the United States. And the United States is unique in this experience. Every poll shows that, virtually every poll.
All right, someplace Ann got a shiver down her spine, and I'm getting an email soon asking her to come on and debate you. That was Geraldo on the Kelly File last night, taking Donald Trump to task over Trump's claim that violent criminals from Mexico and elsewhere are illegally flooding over the border into the U.S. Ann Coulter, who happens to be the author of Adios America, the left's plan to turn our country into a third world hellhole, doesn't agree with Geraldo. So she is here to respond, and Geraldo is back as well. He's host of Geraldo Rivera Reports and a Fox News senior correspondent. So, Ann, let me just tee it up for those who have forgotten somehow with Mr. Trump's remarks that started it all.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
Okay, go ahead.
If you want me to start, I feel
Ann.
the same. Okay,
Ann.
Dan.
First of all, I'm not hesitating. There's a 3-second delay here. I want to thank both of you for doing this. A big part of my book is that we won't even have the debate on this. I think the first most important point is these are not people who have a right to be here. So I don't care if there are 2 rapists. I don't care if there are 2 people coming in who are collecting welfare. Immigration is a government policy like any other, and it ought to be used to benefit the people already living here. That includes recent immigrants. There should not be any criminals coming in. It's bad enough having people come in who are accepting government, who need government assistance. To be bringing in people who are felons, can't we cross that off the list? Secondly, I asked your producer if we could run this during the program. I got here a little bit late, and that was just look at the Los Angeles County's most wanted list, whether it's the top 10 or the top 100. The idea that immigrants are committing crime at a lower rate than the native population is preposterous. My complaint, as described in the book, and why this book became this book rather than just a few chapters, was that the government won't simply count and tell us. So whatever facts there are, it's always people looking at ancillary facts, things like a most wanted list. Why doesn't the government just count?
Go ahead, Geraldo.
Well, I think, first of all, her basic premise, the title of her book, Adios America, is an insulting insinuation that Latinos are somehow going to pervert and drag down and degrade the America we all know and love. This is an insult. It is an insult that is, I won't use terms like racism, because I don't believe that Ann is a racist. What she is a polemicist. She's written a screed, a diatribe here. She had a point she wanted to make, and she, in her very sharp and witty writing, has made it. Now, when I say that immigrants commit less crime than native-born, it's from surveys that I've done. For 2 books I've written on it, The Great Progression and His Panic. His Panic is appropriate especially for Ann, how Hispanics will lead America to a new era of prosperity. Oh, that's Great Progression. This one, Why Americans Fear Hispanics in the U.S. That's Ann. She fears Hispanics in the U.S.
This is great. It's like going to the library.
Crime is at record lows in Los Angeles and in New York, the cities that you would assume would be the most impacted by the huge Latino influx.
Okay,
even with a slight
let me let Ann respond to that. But
we're
first,
still at levels from the 1950s.
I want her to define polemicist.
That's exactly what I am. I do want to say I don't think you're a racist either, Geraldo, though I think you're going kind of close to the edge by insisting that Hispanics piggyback onto the black experience in America. The reason Americans are so concerned with racism, and should be concerned with racism, the reason we have civil rights laws, racial set-asides, affirmative action, is to make up for the legacy of slavery and Jim Crow, by Democrats, I might add. It is not for people who just set foot in this country yesterday. yesterday to piggyback on that very unique history in America and start claiming affirmative
Where does
action.
this
And yet
piggyback
that
business come
happens.
from?
And as I said, here it is. I mean, this is not exactly a rigorous study saying there are lots of immigrants in L.A. and New York and the crime rate went down. Well, yeah, that's because Giuliani, the prison building boom. It's a fact that only about a third of California prisoners are white. So are you saying 2/3 of them are black?
Okay, go ahead. Let him respond.
California has
Go ahead,
one of the
Geraldo.
smallest black populations in the country, only like 6%.
According to the Congressional Budget Office, these immigrants, the undocumented immigrants, contribute more in revenue to the United States pot than they take out in benefits. That's according to the Congressional Budget Office. According to the Social Security Administration, there is $100 billion paid by undocumented immigrants into Social Security with fake numbers for benefits they will never retrieve. That is their gift. That is their gift to us. They have remade entire neighborhoods, Passaic, Patterson. Go to Washington Heights. Unlike Ann, who researched the book from her computer, I've been to all these neighborhoods. I've been to the border. I've seen the immigrant vitality. We're all immigrants here. Ann's family, you may go back decades, but I think wasn't there immigrants on your grandfather's side? I mean, we're all immigrants, each of us. The language that this American hellhole, this is the language used against the Irish in the 19th century, against the Italians in the early 20th century. This is inappropriate.
Just in case you were wondering, polemicist. Okay, here it is. A strong written or spoken attack against someone else's opinions, beliefs, practices, etc. That's right. She's right. She is that, and she admitted it. So we can end with that point of agreement in a very nice debate. I have to say they were right, like they were civil, and they sold a lot of books too.
Everything Geraldo said was false.
Everything Ann has written is false, but I like her.
Oh God. Okay. Goodbye. Love them both.